Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to the morning after with me, your host, Alex Ringler. Thanks for joining us. I couldn't even be bothered to get out of bed today, apparently, because, it was a night. Let's face it. So let's get introductions going. Who's with us today, Russ?
Hi, I'm Russ White. I'm the publisher of Q Vegas magazine and calling in from Las Vegas this week.
Woo!
Yay, hi, I'm Aaliyah Sky, drag queen and fashion designer, obviously, and I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California.
Woo!
And I'm Michael Barbieri. I'm the dining and entertainment writer for Q Life magazine, and I'm calling in from New York City with my cocktail.
What?
Woo!
My name is Garrett, and I'm a houseboy this week. No. I am the co-owner of Q Life magazine, which used to be Q Vegas, Russ. But I think we messed up and forgot our new name is Q Life.
I say Q Vegas?
Q Vegas?
Okay.
Q Life. Q Life.
And I'm Mark Marvin Finley. Watch out for your puppies.
I think Alex is
If he
hiding.
doesn't scare you, no other queen will. Okay. All right, well, let's jump in. So they're not a boy in a dress. They're a drag princess. So that was, it was a fun challenge. It's like Disney meets drag. It was kind of fun. What did we think of the challenge this week? Michael, you're shaking your head. What did you think of the challenge?
I didn't like the challenge. I thought it was, I thought the looks were sort of like, who cared? And I thought that the little sidekicks were unbelievably unfunny. I didn't care for the whole episode, really.
Okay, Mark, what did you think?
It was bad. Like Michael said, it was either you're funny or you're not. And most of them aren't funny. And the sidekick was stupid. I think it was really, really, really horrible.
Yeah, conceptually, I agree. I feel like it from the get-go. Number one, making them be princesses. It's drag queens are already like kind of dressing up. We're wearing gowns. We're wearing crowns. And I got my tiara here too.
So do
I.
Put it on.
Wait, but I also thought that like I found it could be a Gaga mask from episode 1.
That's
too.
true.
So that's
I was
episode 1 of this, not episode 1 of Star Wars, but anyway. But so yeah, it's kind of like and the sidekick thing I think was thrown in there so they could do something more than just wear a pretty dress, which is why I kind of like how Eureka took it and turn it on its head, or not even turn it on its head, but being like, okay, then I'll do something completely different and be like a sewer queen. At least that was something that like outside of the box. Mark, what's that?
She didn't follow through with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit here listening to her say how she's going to be the sewer queen.
And then it was just like kind of rock glam in a way.
It wasn't filthy enough.
No, exactly.
Not at all.
I think.
Okay, but
what I did
from the start of the challenge. Wait, Russ, I'm sorry. Yes.
What I didn't like about the challenge was most everyone ended up doing a queen, not a princess. And
yeah.
Valentina did the only real princess.
No, she did Linda Evangelista.
Yeah, she did.
That's what she did.
But no one had that, very few.
Youthful.
That youthful princessy feel. They had that feel.
I thought Charlie was very youthful.
Charlie did. I like Charlie, and I like Valentina.
I like Charlie's look.
Yeah. It was Charlie's best look yet.
Charlie's best look, and also his sidekick was the only one that was any good.
True.
Yes.
I was surprised he wasn't at the top. I was surprised. Who else wasn't at the top? Or actually, I was surprised that Alexis was safe in a way because she came out. She was a Subway fish queen. There was nothing Subway about it.
Yeah.
It looked like wearing a sack, and then she was holding a stick for some reason. I was like,
"What's with the stick?
Why was she holding a stick?" I mean, maybe in like the longer cut, there was something about the stick, but you said Subway. I want something like resembling a Subway car, whereas like you gave us, clams. I don't get it. But anyway, okay. So when they started the challenge, and RuPaul comes in, and also no mini challenge. Are we gonna have mini challenges?
I sort of thought as a sidekick as the mini challenge.
Okay, yeah, and maybe since there's so many queens still that they don't have time for mini challenge in order to get enough coverage. That's what I'm thinking. I'm missing the mini challenge though. But from the get-go,
challenge though.
Yeah, but okay, but from the get-go, we get these queens again who are coming into season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race and saying, I don't sew. That's not what I do.
How can you not sew?
Leah,
Oh,
our future fashion czar. What do you think about that? You're obviously like a fan. You're a drag queen. You're a fashion designer. What do you think about queens who don't know how to sew going into this competition after 8 years?
I think they're half nude.
I think going into this competition and not being able to sew is so foolish. Like, I get it, like audition, but at least take a lesson. Go to Hobby Lobby, girl. Like, they give free lessons at Joanne Fabric. Go somewhere and just learn how to use a machine. At least, I mean, it's fair. If you could sew a pillow, girl, you could sew an outfit. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. It blows my mind.
Agreed. So, Michael, what do you think about that?
Well, it's a little bit like on America's Next Top Model when they get the girls together and they say, we're going to do makeovers. We're going to cut your hair. And they always go, oh, no. And it's like, have you never watched the show?
Exactly. There's always that one bitch who cries when she's like, they cut off all of my hair and bleached it. I'm like,
haven't you? The show's been on umpteen billion years, and have you never watched it? They always do makeovers, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing with this, you know.
So it's really no excuse. And Garrett, it was the Vegas queens saying, I don't know how to sew. Do you think that was like a smart? Like, obviously it wasn't smart, but do you, like, what was their prerogative then, do you think?
I don't know. I think Vegas is a little bit different when it comes to the drag scene. There's not a lot of gay bars here. There's only a few clubs that are even open that allow them to really, like, make a living off of that. And so these queens aren't really living like that, and so they buy a lot of their stuff. It's all bought, store bought. So
okay, Mark, you're wagging your finger at us. What do you got?
I'm wagging my finger because I know some queens who live in Vegas and they can sew.
They've already been on the show.
These young queens are lazy. They're not learning their craft.
Here's that. Okay, I agree in that way.
I used to buy store-bought clothes too. I understand it, but those queens, especially Kimora. I'm sorry. She's an S&M queen, meaning stand and model. She is there for the tourists. She has a great body. She has a great look, but she has no talent. She is not a drag queen. She's a hooker.
I think she's more of a model, honestly. And there are those queens these days. Thank you, Cruella, for that. I love all the looks you're giving right now.
I actually never seen Kimora wear clothes before. Every time she's ever performed, it's been literally
exactly. So,
like, where does she hide it, Mom? Where does she hide it?
But then does she belong in this competition? Obviously not. That's why she was eliminated. I think she's beautiful. I don't know if she's talented because we didn't get to see it yet, but
the worst thing, however, is that she knows she's beautiful.
And she tells everyone.
And she's constantly reminding you of that fact.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the thing with Kimora, obviously, bless her heart, she's gone now. But she seems to have this overwhelming conceit about herself where, like, even if you watch Untucked, she seemed like a very nice girl. She was very, like, getting along with all the girls and very congratulatory of them. However, she was like, if I don't make it this far, I'm still fabulous and whatever, I'm going to do my own thing. It's like, but you need to take critiques. You need to, like, take these things and learn. Whereas I feel like there are these people now, like, and maybe it's a millennial thing. Maybe it's a thing where it's like, I'm just me and I'm going to be who I am. And if you don't like it, then you can go fuck yourself. And I'm like, but if you're trying to, like, make it a little further, maybe listen to critiques.
But I think if you watched Untucked this week, you'll see that Trinity says it right to them. You know, they said, you're here to be judged. You're here to be judged. And the judges want to know that you're listening to what they're saying.
Exactly.
It's a competition.
Exactly.
Okay, to that end, do we all watch Untucked on here?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, no.
It's really fun. I feel like if you haven't watched it, you should. It's a really good look inside and behind.
I felt Kimora had already given up at the end.
True, and she didn't even know the lip sync, or I don't think she was trying.
Horrible.
No, she was saying her goodbyes and saying how fabulous everybody was, while Aja was over in the corner practicing that number for the gods.
Yeah, I think Kimora she was like, okay, well, it's probably me, so bye. But that's I think the millennial, everyone gets a participation ribbon mentality that she was I don't know. But anyway, okay, so moving right along. So they can't sew. Sorry, I can't get over that they can't sew.
And may I just say something?
Yes.
I've known Cheyenne Jackson since he was 20, so I can say this safely. He needs to fire his stylist.
Oh, yeah? You didn't like what he was wearing?
No, I don't like his hair or his beard.
Okay, but also, did you notice that his makeup stopped at his face and not his neck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fire his stylist.
So, but I love Cheyenne.
I do too. No. We're good friends still. I mean, we're still friends to this day. I love him to death.
He used to go to the same gym as me, and I would just look at him being like, look at those eyes, those lips.
He's very, very pretty.
A pretty man.
But I will have to say this. He said he's serving Butch Queen. I beg your pardon? No.
I'm having a drink at that one.
I feel like more than anyone else on that panel that day, yes.
True. I mean, I love him. I think he's wonderful. I think he's very talented. But Butch is not the first word that springs to mind.
Agreed. And I really like Todrick. I've met him a couple times. He's one of the most driven people I know, and I always love what he brings to.
He's so super talented.
Yeah,
he was tremendous in Kinky Boots. You just stepped down from that.
I know. I wish I could have seen him. I saw him when he was in rehearsals, at the studios. And I'm like, I want to come see, and then he's gone. He's really short engagement. Okay, so anyway, so getting to the runway, was anyone else distracted by the amount of filters that were on the runway? Everyone looked purple. You couldn't tell what anyone's color was. You couldn't tell the makeup and shading until they were standing in front of the judges.
But
what are they doing? What's different? What's going on? Garrett, what's going on? What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe just switching networks. They got a bigger budget and they switched to LED bulbs. I don't know.
Mother, what do you think?
Well, it's very interesting because I remember the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race. There were so many filters on that lens, you couldn't see anybody.
Ru was blown out, like she was glowing.
Completely everything. And last night it felt like that too, because I didn't even realize that Charlie's dress was copper colored until I watched Untucked.
Yep.
When I watched
they were saying,
oh my God, that's
and they were
colored dress. It's gorgeous.
I know, they were saying "Orange You Glad" to Aja, and I was like, "Is it orange?
Is it orange?" There were filter things going on.
I think, my theory is it's the HD, and then putting on the filters that they normally did might not be working.
I don't think it's working.
I think it was also. I don't think some of it was filters, but I think some of it was lighting too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did some really weird lighting. Don't you think so, Michael?
Yeah.
You've done lighting before.
Mm-hmm.
It was just too much blue and purple in the lighting.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alexis Michelle, I thought looked beautiful. It was one of her best makeup jobs, but her face looked entirely blue.
Yeah,
but she conquered with blue.
Yeah, but then you watch Untucked, and I think it was on purpose, but the lighting didn't help her in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So
and also her dress looked a hell of a lot better under the filters than it did out of the filters.
Okay, so let's go around and say, who is your favorite look on the runway? Let's start with Aaliyah Sky.
Valentina! She is my absolute favorite queen so far. I called out on episode 1. I said, y'all watch. And so far, it's 3 for 3. I think she, honestly, so far, is my personal favorite.
Great. Okay, now let's go, Michael.
I thought it was Charlie Hyde's best look. I thought he looked great. And I liked Valentina. She looked like a beautiful ballet dancer to me. And Trinity. Trinity looked terrific.
Trinity did look good. Okay, let's go, Russ.
Favorite look was Valentina. I still like Shea Coulee a lot.
Her gown was fabulous.
Her gown was great.
I liked Shea's look too, but then it kind of looked like she maybe already had that gown, and she added the collar and the corset, and she called it a new look. So
I think she added the tail.
Okay.
I also liked it. If it was an evil queen competition, I did like Peppermint.
I thought Peppermint looked great.
It was a princess competition, so I still got to go with Valentina. Though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go, Garrett. Who is your favorite on the runway?
I like Valentina the most, of course. She's my favorite too. But I did like, who was it? Somebody had a story, and I can't think of who it was. Like, they actually had a good storyline that went with the outfit. And I thought,
Peppermint.
yeah. So at least that was like, a conception realized. I thought at least it was an effort. So I thought that was pretty good.
And Mark is shaking his head at Peppermint. What you got to say, Guru?
Meh. Meh. Peppermint? Meh. She is
Peppermint.
She came into this competition with such the hype that she's so fabulous. And Michael, I know that if you say you love somebody, they're good.
And I like her too.
And I've been waiting to see this. I mean, I've watched the videos online. She's amazing. I have yet to see any of that in this competition.
I thought last night was the first time they really they found her and she found them, you know?
Yeah, oh, no,
I thought she worked a lot better last night.
Hopefully she'll do something better now than what she's been doing.
Yeah.
Valentina is fierce. In fact, she's even fierce in the fucking workroom.
Uh-huh.
You know, serving us that Norma Desmond, you know.
And I love that she knew. I love that she knew who Norma Desmond was.
Exactly.
Like as a 19-year-old, yes.
She's a young queen who knows who Norma Desmond is.
Yeah.
Yes, she's fierce. But she said she was an ice princess. She gave me Linda Evangelista in a George Michael music video. She did not give me Ice Princess.
Can we just agree that nobody really gave good princess?
No one gave good princess.
It was just not. It was not right.
I was disappointed across the board.
Right.
This is better princess.
You know, the thing with Shea Coulee, I know, Russ, you love Shea Coulee, but I think what she did add to that outfit was the tail, because she was talking in Untucked about putting hoops in her tulle. You do not put hoops in tulle.
Why would you do that?
Isn't that called a Prince Albert?
Or you don't. You know, so that was a big mistake. And she couldn't walk. She said her heel was catching and everything. Fail, epic fail. Trinity really deserved it this week. She went out of her comfort zone, and I'm sorry, that reveal was great.
And she had a reveal, like, you know, aside from Charlie's from episode 1, like a reveal.
Charlie's was fabulous. She was the only one that had a sidekick and it had a look that worked together, and there was a story that you could follow.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, her reveal from episode 1 was like, So it's like, but this reveal this week was, Trinity's reveal was like what we want a reveal to be.
Yeah.
And I agree with the judges, and I agree with all y'all. I think she deserved to win this week.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say,
assuming we all know what an adjective is. One adjective to describe. Just kidding.
And I loved how it was a person who English is not her first language teaching English.
When you're getting English grammar lessons from Princess Cuckoo, you're in trouble.
Okay, Princess Cuckoo did do Princess.
What was that?
I gotta give Cuckoo the credit. She did do Princess.
Yes, she did.
She did, and I like the shoulder thing. Like, to me, she looked regal. I
like that he finally explained what cuckoo meant. By the way, guys, I have to go cuckoo for a moment. No, just kidding.
I went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs earlier in the day. But, no, okay, so I think we all agree. Okay, Trinity kind of...
I want to add in, because it was the poignant moment, the Orlando conversation.
What was that, Russ? I'm sorry.
Planned?
The Orlando conversation. He's talking about the Orlando incident.
I think, of course, it was planned, because if there are this many queens with ties to it, like, you got to talk about it. And I think it was handled very well. I was surprised to hear the two stories we heard about someone who's worked at Pulse and then someone who was supposed to be there. It was like, it's very heart-wrenching. Again, we're in the makeup room, we're in the workroom, and then we have a touching moment. So it's like we were kind of expecting something to happen right then. But I'm glad the story was told. And I thought, you know, this has touched the gay community in such a way that it's reminded us that, yeah, we got to keep the fight on, kids. Michael, you want to say something?
And they didn't get overly maudlin about it.
No.
They talked about it, and they talked about how serious and impactful it was, but that was it. No one cried, and no one. It was they didn't get too maudlin.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So
I think the Kimora and the Trinity moment was staged. I do, But then they asked Cynthia, who you could tell did not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
She did not want to relive that moment. She
And
said she was getting texts from people in the dressing room saying there's somebody shooting at us. You could tell she was very upset. Yeah. I felt this entire week, besides the fact of being a bad challenge, I think everyone was off their game, and I think it's because of that.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it put everybody off their game because everybody wasn't, something wasn't connected. Nobody did a good runway, really.
Like aside from like maybe Trinity and maybe Valentina, and that's probably why they're at the top. But okay, so then watching Untucked, if you haven't, spoiler alert, but we get back into the workroom or the sitting area, as it were, and Aja goes a little bit emotional, goes a little crazy, starts reading Valentina for them being like, oh, they just love you because you're pretty, and it was kind of. It showed her in a bad light. And I like Aja. I think she needs to fix her makeup, but you got to be careful what you say like everywhere you go. You have to keep it positive.
She apologized.
Exactly.
But it doesn't excuse it.
Eventually she got there, but also she brought up the fact that like she was like, well, what could I have done better? And people started reading her a little bit, not like in a bad way, being like, well, I would have done this, I would have changed this. And she was like, well, why weren't you there helping me? And I was like, bitch, it's a competition. If I see you doing something wrong, I'm not going to correct you because I'm over here doing my best work. So do you think it's like, at this point in the competition, do you think it's right or wrong for the other queens to be helping each other and like assisting them in the challenge? What do you think, Russ?
I think at this point, early on, I think it's okay to help because that's the natural selection is going to eliminate the first 3 to 5 queens.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to lend a helping hand especially to an underdog, is going to kind of just set them up for failure too.
It could be. Okay, Mother, what do you think?
Yeah, I think at this stage in the game, it's okay to help. Not do it for them. Tell them if they're doing something wrong. You know, if you notice something going wrong, explain to them. Or if they really need to step in, I think at this stage it's okay because, like you said, natural selection will weed those out. But you know, don't do it for them.
Okay, and I think Eureka, I don't know if it was this episode or the previous episode, where she just went to someone's table and was like, well, give me that. Like, she definitely helped Farrah.
Right,
and I think
help Farrah
with the glue gun. And I think in the previous episode, she helped someone too, which I'm like, that's really nice. And I remember
Cynthia made petty pants for all of the cheerleaders in her team.
That's true.
So it's like, great, you're going to win Miss Congeniality. That's perfect.
I think
after a certain point, you've got to stop.
I think we have to keep in mind is after the show ends, these girls have a livelihood to maintain. And so you have to think about, if I get booked somewhere, who do I want to get booked with me? Stuff like that. So there is a job outside of the show that you have to think about too. So it's best to be, good to people so that way they're good to you after this all ends.
Agreed. And even looking back at Bianca's year, she gave Adore an extra like corset to cinch her waist. Finally, once Michelle was like, girl, cinch your waist. This is the 5th time I've told you. So you're right, Garrett. I think you're right. It's like you got to think about beyond, but then you're also like, you have to balance that with the competition as well. I think around the time you get to Snatch Game, which I'm waiting for this season, I always love it, and everybody does. That's probably when you're like, okay, this is it now. Like we're in the final. Like now it's time to concentrate. It's time to give my best looks. All right. So previous weeks we've talked ad nauseum about Kimora, but when they had that touching moment where Michelle brings up the whole like padding thing she started to talk about,
that was shady.
Oh my God! But the way they underscored it, I was like, oh, that's one of the best things I've ever seen on Drag Race, and just like the struggle. Yeah, yes, the struggle. I died.
The struggle is real.
I fell on the floor when she did that. Okay, so previous weeks we've been on Team Eureka, we've been on Team Valentina, and now, okay, 3rd weekend, again, very early. But let's say, okay, so who are we rooting for now? Who do we think could take the crown? Let's start with Garrett.
I think Valentina is going to be at least in the top 3, but you have to have a funny one. So I think Charlie, or else the show would be boring. And probably, if I had to pick a third one, probably Shea Coulee. So those three would be my top pick. Yeah, they got it. They're good for TV. They're good because it's young, it's old. It's like, it's going to be interesting to see how they cross the finish line. But I think top three for sure.
Agreed. Michael, what do you think?
I'm still with Eureka. And by the way, I want Eureka's little curly Q hairdo and her boy look. I want that hairdo.
Grow your hair out, honey. Do it. Do it.
I don't have quite enough.
I think you could do it.
But I also, who else? I still like Charlie Hides and Trinity. Trinity, I think, is starting to find her way.
Agreed. Okay, Aaliyah, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Valentina all the way. She's
You're
my
still
absolute
thinking
favorite. Everyone's rooting on Eureka, but so far, me watching the show, if I was in that workroom with Eureka, I would have slapped her already. Because she seems a little she seems a little undercut a little bit with the way she talks, so I don't like that at all. So I'm not a big fan. But Valentina, I like because all the queens are against her. It's like when Jinx Monsoon won, and everyone was like, "Okay, girl, like you're cute for a taste, but not for a swallow." And then she won, So I'm going Valentina.
Girl, when you get on the show, that needs to be your catchphrase.
I think it's RuPaul's catchphrase. I can't steal that from Ru.
She said that. I missed that one. Anyway, okay, now Marva. What do we think?
Oh, me.
That one.
I'm still Sasha Velour. I think her look last night was unique. I thought her story was unique. I thought she was the only one who actually had a complete story and a sidekick that told that story properly. I think I think she's the new wave of drag. I think that Valentina will probably be in the top three as well because she is gorgeous, unless she does a huge misstep somewhere.
Yeah.
Which for a young queen, there still is that
Possible.
time that she could go totally,
That's up.
wrong. So I mean, I'm still Sasha and Valentina, and I too am sort of souring on Eureka.
Yeah, well, I think Eureka, she gave us some really good starter looks, and now she's kind of fading into the safe
Right.
kind of peppermint environment, which I'm like.
Trinity is a pageant queen.
Yeah.
She's gonna fight to the end for that crown.
And Trinity seems to be discovering comedy.
Yes.
True, which Michelle praised her for, and I think is very rightly so. And I think Garrett had a good point with Shea. I think she might be a dark horse in a way because you watch the show, she's always getting into the camera. You watch Untucked, and she's kind of the one being the mother of the group, which I'm like, if she's not top three, I could see her as Miss Congeniality, honestly, because she's
a great person. She's really good. She hasn't done anything horrible.
She hasn't.
Horrible.
Exactly, but I think she could come back and surprise us. Valentina's definitely, at this point, she's going to be top three. I don't think she's going to make a big misstep because you watch her and you listen to her, and she actually has her head on straight.
She got that candle girl, and she is praying. So you know what?
I mean, those Catholic girls, they know what to do. She has a good head on her shoulders. Whereas some pretty queens like Pearl, possibly back in the day, it's like she gives good looks. She's very pretty, but then what else is there? There wasn't much else, but she still made top three. This is a pretty queen who could make top three, but because she's smart and has a good head on her shoulders, she could take it all the way. So Russ, the Q Life poll, where are we at? What do people think?
Let me pull that up and see what we're thinking.
Last week, I think they were Valentina, if I recall.
Yeah. It resets every week, so this week will be interesting. I think last night Eureka's always been in the top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's loading up.
They've got nothing else to do in East Tennessee except go online and go.
Sasha, Shea, Aja, Charlie, Trinity, Peppermint.
Who was top again?
Eureka still.
Eureka's still top on Q Life. Okay, so what's top three on Q Life? We got Eureka,
Sasha Velour, and Shea Coulee. And Eureka's got over 4,000 votes of all time.
Oh wow. Okay, well, so Q Life is still Team Eureka. I think she could still come back and give us some surprises. It's only week 3, y'all. Like, we still don't know what's going to happen. I think if she makes it to Snatch Game, Eureka's going to be hilarious. Oh, yeah. So we don't know what's going to happen. But, you know, it's week 3. I can't wait to see what's next. I hope a mini challenge comes back. But, yeah, I love the mini challenges because it's especially like the 5-second drag that they have to do where none of them are shaved and they put on like half a face and they glue a wig onto their ear and now they're like go and do this. So I miss them because they're fun. Anyway, okay, thank you all for joining us this week. Do we have anyone on the panel who wants to plug anything? Let's start with
I can do that on camera?
I thought you already were plugged, Mama.
No, she's tucked.
Oh, she's
Barbie.
Does anyone have any projects they want to plug?
I do. The 27th annual AIDS Walk is happening in Las Vegas, and I'm planning that. So in whatever city you're in, please find your local AIDS Walk. They're coming up. Ours is April 23rd. You can go to www.afanlv.org to register or donate. That's my plug for the week.
Get it, Aaliyah Sky. You got any shows coming up, Greg?
No. Not really. No, it's kind of hard. Let's say because I've only just moved here, so I don't really know anybody yet. So
it's a rebuilding year.
Graduated school, huh?
It's a rebuilding year. It is.
2016 buried my ass 6 feet under. So we're like, right.
Let's build this back up. I'm gonna plug. My friend Sally Schwab is doing a cabaret at the Laurie Beachman Theater in New York. Our next show is on the 17th. I'm singing a little bit in it. Come out and see it. It's a funny show. It's called Adventures in Babysitting. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks for being on the panel today. Join us here every week at around 3 p.m. Where we will recap RuPaul's Drag Race. So thanks for joining us at the morning after. Everybody say bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Give me your puppies.